Ehi la ciurma, io sono Matsetes e benvenuti in questo nuovo video dedicato alla LudoNarraCon 2023. Ci troviamo di nuovo con una demo, ci troviamo con la Nemo. Alla ricerca di Nemo, con la demo di Norco, è per quello che mi sono un attimo perso con i nomi. Eh, Atto primo, Norco atto primo, demo. E... sì. Language. Ah, portoghese do Brasil. No. Facciamo new game. C'ho l'audio un pochettino troppo forte nelle mie orecchie. Spero che per voi non sia troppo forte, ma forse è forte anche per voi, perché lo vedo scattare. Shield hits the stars behind hydrogen and flame projected onto the sky every night. Hid the stars behind halogen and flame projected onto the sky every night. Ok, quindi c'è uno scudo. There was no such thing as silence. The noise never went away. The refinery exhaled an endless sick. Ok, quindi sempre il rumore. Possiamo scegliere già subito. Non potevo mai dormire, era sempre troppo rumoroso. Oppure... non posso ancora dormire senza quel rumore. La seconda direi. Non posso dormire senza quel rumore. Hai spesso sognato che le torri erano delle cattedrali e che quelle paludi ascoltassero mentre parlavi. Che gli uccelli diventassero delle sfere radianti mentre circolavano sul cielo di Norco. Non so se mi conviene tradurlo, forse mi conviene andare direttamente in inglese, se no ci mettiamo 80 anni. You spent your adolescence sleepwalking between little devastating rituals. Though Blake pleaded, you decided to leave. Ok, quindi siamo andati via. Sapevo che sarebbe passato oltre, ma non l'ho mai fatto. You caught out on a grainer to Chicago and onward to the West Coast, thinking you'd never return. You wandered through the overlit suburbs of a vast American limbo. Thumbing down 99, you saw an old man crouched in a roadside ditch. He was mouthing your name. He had a familiar gaze. He was gone when you wiped the sleep from your eyes. Quindi siamo tipo in un futuro? You spoke to Blake, learning of your mother's declining health, her insomnia, her erratic behavior. You ignored your urgency in your brother's voice. You headed east. You threw your phone into the Rio Grande and joined the armies of Emesa. For months, you were in the company of fugitives, sleeping in nuclear tunnels, repairing engines and weaponry. Qui siamo entrati in una sorta di armata di nascosto, buttando via il cellulare sul fatto che la nostra madre stava morendo. The war was a meme that set Albuquerque on fire. You escaped while the foot soldiers of a pop-up junta bloodied the parched land. While hiding in a freightliner, non lo so, ho pregato. You held the cross around your neck and mouthed prayer to God. You called home from a landline in a motel somewhere beyond Texas. You knew from Blake's hello that your mother was already dead. You hung up, shouldered your bag, returned to the highway. 5 years had passed. You made your way back home. Quindi dopo tutto questo siamo tornati a casa. È un'introduzione comunque molto confusionaria, cioè non mi sembra di aver capito molto. Ah, da un sogno delirante ti svegli nel tuo letto di infanzia. La scimmia ti guarda dall'angolo. Ho detto con luce o una sottoluce? Eh, allora, mappa mentale, ma non c'è niente qua. Ma un po' angosciantino, eh. Ah, qua possiamo vedere flyer, books, plans. Ok, sembra un po' tipo avventura grafica. Eh, questo cos'è che ci dà? Ah, il menu. Salva, vai a home, audio, dialoghi, cerati filter. Oh, wow, ok. Tubo catodico. Proviamo a mantenerlo. Liner notes, com'è? Eh, no, forse è una descrizione di chi sono quelli che l'hanno fatto. Ok, sì. Va bene. Se siete interessati mettete in pausa e leggete. Display, gameplay, quit game. Proviamo a tenerlo con il tubo catodico. Sembra simpatichino per ora. Poi non so come venga su OBS però. Scusate i saltuari sbadigli, sono in un periodo un po' stanchino. Overworld, quindi... Ah, possiamo andare in vari posti. Qua è casa, ma possiamo andare anche alla raffineria. Quella che diceva prima. Eh, no, qua cosa abbiamo? You assume Million has been keeping the plants alive. Non so chi sia Million, ma... A flyer from a show your friend put on a few weeks before you left town. A fight broke out while one of the opening bands played. I was outside. You didn't feel like being around crowd that night. After the show, you and Blake walked the river back to Norco. Quindi è un posto Norco. You watched the sun rise over the grain elevators. Vediamo un po' fuori. Cool January air spills through the open window. Come? Siamo a gennaio e la finestra aperta. Commuter traffic lanes along Apple Street as a pair of wrens live out of overgrown lot next floor. Ok, guardiamo i libri. Among the books on the shelf is a slim volume called Crisis LARPing. Ah, leggiamo. The proto-disaster tourism began almost as soon as the floodwaters left. Punks from across the country ventured into the Ninth Ward, Gentilly, St. Bernard, and finally the East. They curated a theatrical self-portrait of their lives in the ruin. The aesthetics of disaster were central to that emerging milieu. It began to percolate into popular culture. Collapse became the zeitgeist. Wise investors recuperated the experience of disaster. New Orleans became a plastic dystopia, a marketplace for crisis. Ok, quindi siamo tipo in un futuro post-apocalittico. Rimane solo più il computer, mi sa. Perché le piante l'abbiamo visto, quel coso l'abbiamo visto. La scimmia l'abbiamo vista? No. Oh, che ansia! Monkey, your best friend, a childhood gift. You spoke with him often when things got difficult, but then you left. He sat here for 5 years collecting dust. 5 years. His eyes fill with anger as he challenges you to return his gaze. Staring contest part 1. Glyphs. Glyphs will appear and flash a pattern. Match the pattern to meet monkey's gaze. Ok, ready? C'è un minigame. Ah, ok. You successfully meet monkey's gaze with a cool assurance. However, his expression is unchanged. You stare more intensely. Ah, ok. Ci sono dei cerchi. Bisogna cliccare quando quello più esterno è nel posto giusto. Proviamo. Ah, no, non ho capito. Riproviamo. Riproviamo. No. La prima volta ne abbiamo fatto almeno uno su... Cioè, la seconda volta ne abbiamo fatto almeno uno su due. No. Ci va precisione millimetrica. Ok. Hunger melts from monkey's face. Prendiamolo, dai. Ah, ok, così proviamo noi e lui, cioè, va bene. The laptop your parent gifted you idles on a shoddy particle board desk. Proviamo. As the screen illuminates, you notice that the signal in the house is dead. No internet. It looks like Blake was using the computer at some point. He left the browser tab open. Vediamo. Cosa sta guardando? Modbot, archived all post, ok. Anybody still post here? Nope, place is wasteland. Wanted to run something by your gents. Was knocking out what suck a late in the spill. Eh? Ok. Call that the sun, OP. Funny. Talked to somebody else in it too near the parish canal. Too near the parish canal. Nothing like this, but birds in them swamps be acting weird. Ok, c'è qualcosa di strano, dicono. Looked like it was made of glass, maybe. Would glow real bright, then not at all. Moved fast. Best pick I could get. All kinds of shit have been happening out that way. Get some sleep, OP. Need cash fast? Install Quack Job. Use promo code Bleach3. Okay. Lol, the fuck kind of name is Quack Job? It's just like the name sounds, full of lunatics. Apps. A way of getting you to join a cult. Worse than them people living in the mall in Canner. You can't trade that coin they use on hardly any exchanges, because everyone know it's a good Ponzi scheme. In this exact thing, OP. Still there, seen at the base of the upper section. Ok. Ah, ma c'è anche la living room. Ah. Beh, qua possiamo andare solo qua. Che interfaccia del manga, però, posso dirlo. C'è tutto un tempietto qua di adorazione. Scusa, i panni sporchi li tengono in mezzo al salotto dove entra la gente. Ah, vediamo un po'. Mail. A letter from Shield Oil sits atop of a stack of mail. Dear neighbor, please be advised. There will be elevated flaring at the site of our number 5 stack near Good Hope on the evening of Thursday, March 19th. This will pose no health risk to residents. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact the Shield NORCO Office of Community Engagement. Ok. L'album delle foto. A family photo album. Vediamo un po'. Yellowing pages of disposable photographs. Your grandfather, a peculiar look in his face impossible to read. Your mom staring at Blake through the obscure lighting. He's dressed as a vampire, tugging at someone's waist. Pleated khaki shorts. Photo labeled dark. Ma sta aggiornando la mappa. Scene of a barbecue on the lakefront. The man at the center points playfully at the camera. His face is obscured. Turn the page and there's... Ah, mind map. Okay. Your father. Though you've never thought of him that way. An easy smile on his face, a canister of deep shoved into his front pocket. You set the book aside. Ok, quindi abbiamo una roba nuova qua. Duck. Questa è la madre. Ah, un cancro metastatico. Chemioterapia non ha sopravvissuto. Ok, questo invece è il padre. Ah no. No. Questo chi è? Pospierre. Ah, il nonno, Peter Pospierre. Morto quando eravamo ancora adolescenti. Va bene. E qua abbiamo invece tuo fratello. Ah, sì, sì. Chiudiamo un attimo il discorso su Blake. È quello che ci aveva chiamato dicendo che la madre stava morendo. Uh, your mom's unfolds laundry. Della mamma? Scusa, ma non è morta? È ancora qua da fare la lavanderia, cioè i panni sporchi da quando è morta? You peruse the titles on the bookshelf. Sì, adesso però non andiamo a vedere tutta sta roba perché sennò qua non se ne esce più. A photo of your mom holding Blake as a baby on a beach in Pensacola, Florida. It's winter. You stand beside them, bundled up and laughing as a gust of wind rakes the beach. The sky is bone white. Ok. No, non guardiamo la TV, non mi sembra... C'è un sacco di roba comunque qua da vedere, ma... Allora, vediamo un attimo il front yard. C'è una statua di Maria. Ok. Possiamo andare... Mannaggia che ansia! Che ansia! La faccia è molto deteriorata, sì. Ritorniamo al front yard. Questo è un gatto invece. Ah, dava da mangiare, ma adesso che è morta. Backyard. Allora, abbiamo sbloccato backyard o street? Andiamo un attimo su backyard allora. Oh, cos'è questo affare? Ah, Million, è quello delle piante. Sits in her characteristic slouch. Lost in thought. Her carapace has taken on the rusted and weather-worn quality of the rest of the machinery in the yard. You recall the night that your mom showed up with her. You and Blake stayed up past dawn, poring over pirated API docs. Her ragdoll mass was lumped on the floor as you wrote the routing procedure. You wonder if such memories hide behind her constellation of eyes. The robot regards you casually. Proviamo a parlare con robot. Kai, you're awake. Best sleep in years. The sounds of the refinery did always help you sleep, didn't it? In any case, I'm certain I was no help. She gestures toward the motorcycle at the edge of the carport. I was turning over the engine of that bike to test the coils. It was quite noisy, but they're in good shape now. All I need is a fuse and we can use it to get around while I finish repairing the truck. I heard the phone ringing inside, but I had my hands full. Dove troviamo un fusibile? The gas station just up the road has them, but you may have to persuade Troy to let you in. Ok, stavi aspettando la telefonata? Many people have been calling since Catherine died. Your brother is usually the one to answer the phone, but I don't know where he went off to. Anch'io mi domando dove possa essere. Likely at the bar or bookstore if I had to guess. Perché ci sono così tante persone che telefonano? Your mother left behind a lot of loose ends. From what little I know, I gather she was conducting research for a client in Fat City. I sense that many people would like to acquire that data. I am unaware of where she has hidden it. Perhaps Blake knows its whereabouts? Chi è che esattamente vuole vedere questi dati? Your mother spent her entire life researching this town. She knew histories that others have forgotten. History has a lot of value in this place. E chi era questo cliente? I haven't a clue. These aren't things she discussed with me. As the cancer spread, she became more guarded with her research. Ah. Ha sempre avuto strane compagnie. An occupational hazard, I suppose. So, anyway. Ok. Allora, quindi abbiamo bisogno di trovare un fusibile per la moto, ci ha detto. E dobbiamo andare... Ah, c'è una... un piede di porco. A steel priber lies on the ground. È una citazione a qualche altro videogioco, probabilmente. Ma possiamo andare front yard o... kitchen. Kitchen? Ah, non siamo mai stati in cucina. Picco, era molto credente, mi sa, sta signora comunque. Pierce? Allora, qua può andare o backyard o nell'attico. Poi la soffitta. Va bene, torniamo giù. Però è simpatico che... Ah no, si può... Perché prima non potevamo andare in cucina? Ah sì, perché siamo usciti, perché siamo stupidi. Andiamo in strada. Dobbiamo andare a... A Padupi? Non ci possiamo andare a Padupi. Floodgate Tavern Home o Times Discount. Ma... Ah, sono degli investigatori privati. Lei ci ha detto... Scusate, ci ha detto di andare dove? Ah, qua ci ha aggiunto Million, va bene. Che ansia però quella schermata. No, la taverna non... Prima il Times Discount. Forse qui ce l'hanno. Gas station, andiamo. Well, well, well. Look who's back. What happened? Carnival forget you beside the road? And you even brought your little doll. È vero che ci abbiamo sulla spalla. That's cute. E sono tornato per mia madre morta. You're not that stupid, are you? Catherine, she's too valuable. They'd never let her die. If anything, she's probably vacationing on a hard drive somewhere. Mi stai prendendo in giro su mia madre morta? Prendendo in giro? You are damn sensitive. Can't say nothing around you. Your mom was excavating all around the rim of a lake. She used to pay me to help from time to time, matter of fact. She needed somebody smart. Somebody vigilant. Somebody like me. Especially with Shield snooping around. I seen some wild shit out in this Svem swamp with Catherine. Che tipo? I won't bother telling you about it. Might hurt your brain. And anyhow, this ain't story time. Not letting you in this gas station. Goddamn company that runs this dump did me dirty. They swapped me with an ATM machine for speaking truth. Ain't letting nobody through till I get an apology, very least. E certamente ne avresti bisogno. Go have some glue. If you really want to get through, go get me some of them pills you bought your brother was selling. That might persuade me. Yeah, shuffle out then. Ok, quindi non possiamo entrare, dobbiamo andare a... non mi piace molto sto posto. Torniamo un attimo a Dims Discount, Andiamo dalla Fruitgate Tavern, magari troviamo il fratello. Ma sono tutti con un sacco di roba religiosa, Fruitgate Tavern. Many shield workers gather here after their shifts. It's closed. Should be open later in the evening. Qua possiamo andare solo in Apple Street. Proviamo ad ascoltare queste bambine qua. The turtle, he crawled out the trash can. Don't touch him, see, he's dirty. No, he's not. Turtles are always clean. They live in water. Trash water is not clean. Let's go. Just let me stay a little longer. She's pretty. Oh, qua non possiamo entrare, The lights are on at Paddock Private Investigations. E se proviamo a bussare? Nessuna risposta, va bene. Se guardiamo dalla finestra, the snowball stand is closed for the winter. Ah, c'è uno snowball stand? Ok. Sì, va bene, l'abbiamo visto. Oh, qua, allora, là lui non ci fa passare. Allora, vediamo qua. A freight loader is being repaired in the Batcher Woods over Relief. Ok, qua c'è un settimo film. A film crew is set up along River Road. Several floodlights illuminate a gruesome murder scenes. Scene. Two men stand pensively above a corpse. Avviciniamoci, non abbiamo molto da fare. As you near the set, a small energetic man jumps up from his chair. Attention, dumbass. Can't you see we're trying to shoot here? Cosa state girando? It's a detective drama called None of Your Goddamn Business. Any other questions? Scortese. Stupida. Hey, you know what? Wait a second. You from around here? Yeah. We could use some cultural expertise, you might say. We're filming a Bayou cop drama, and all these knuckleheads are from LA. An actor on set turns toward the director. I told you, Kevin, I'm from Texas. Oh, that's right, Noah, I forgot. Your Harvard-educated daddy bought a boutique ranch outside Austin. Well, that don't make you a cowboy horse. Now hush up before you scare off a yokel. The director returns his attention to you with a mild look of disgust. Help us out, will you? The script needs some work. What do you say? Va bene? Great. Hey, Noah, get over here, so you can learn something from this stupid redneck. The actor smolders. He whispers under his breath. I'm a redneck. Fine, Noah, you're a redneck, a real salt of the earth kind of guy. But as luck would have it, we came across an even dumpier hayseed than you, okay? So just take a knee. Alright, anyway, we need some good slang. What do you call a villain, a bad apple, a lowlife? Non lo so perché io non sono del Texas. Nestle? That's it? Nestle? Thanks a lot, William Faulkner. That's real creative. Now, get out of here. You're holding up production. Ok, cos'è che ci ha aggiunto qua? Ci ha aggiunto l'altra roba. Troy? Cos'è questo? Shield? Ah. Duck? Ok, stiamo andando a conoscere la gente pian pianino. Andiamo a Butcher perché non abbiamo altro da fare. Chi è questo? C'è un uomo che è seduto su una cosa le robe che ha abbandonato il fiume, insomma. Ha una giacca per proteggersi dall'aria gelida. Ah, ok. Cavallo? Un cavallo da solo beve dall'acqua stagnante. Non so se conviene. Un memoriale. Una croce 2x4. Cemento polverizzato. C'è scritto con dello spray. Here passed the brave freedom fighters of January. Non so cosa sia questo. Whose cries of liberty echo through the generations. In much smaller lettering, a different hand scratched fake across the bottom of the plaque. Ok. Possiamo parlare con lui. Vediamo un po'. Stupido cavallo. The man's gaze stays fixed on the opposite bank of the river, never turning to you nor the horse. Ah, anch'io non posso sopportare quel cavallo. Lot of stupid in this world. Stupid people, stupid horses. Sono stupido anch'io. Then go get you a river drink. He spits on the dirt at his feet. You know what all they dump in that water. Hell of a cocktail. He spits again, wiping a string of mucus onto his sleeve. What you out here for anyhow? Ain't you heard they got a criminal on the loose? Bringing the law around here, making things harder for the rest of us. Best be sharp, young one. Okay, no, forse perché vuole che io legga queste cose. Million era un androide di sicurezza. She guarded the perimeter of the aluminium refinery in Gramercy. One day she ran away. To find her family? What? No, Million. A fugitive. Once a fugitive, now just a relic. She spends hours in stasis beneath the house like any discharged thing would. Million. Va bene. Noi stessi. Siamo di nuovo a casa. Because your brother needs you. Because your mom died. You were traveling. Through the Midwest, the freight cars rattling the cold dusk as you crouched in the grainer porch. Suburbs, fences, traffic, flat country, all passing for miles. Then what? You rode in the back of a van from Chicago to Des Moines. You stole a heater from Walmart and brought it to the poorly attended house show. Des Moines to Kansas City, Kansas City to Denver, across the Rockies. Your friends were south and you were glad to be alone. You spent long nights on those highways in a shitty sleeping bed. Down the Pacific coast. You were in California when the summer arrived. You recall the familiar smile in the face of the old man in the Central Valley ditch. Abbiamo sbloccato la persona. That smile burned its image into your mind. No, l'abbiamo già letto. Ho miscliccato. No, ho miscliccato di nuovo. Va bene. Va bene. Va bene. Torniamo dalla madre allora. Stavo facendo le ricerche. Per chi? Per un cliente di Fat City. Ok, quindi abbiamo il cliente di Fat City di cui non sappiamo niente. È tutto quello che sappiamo. Shield. È una raffineria di petrolio. Shield Gulf South is a regional subsidiary of a transnational oil empire. It holds a large share of leases in the Gulf of Mexico and refines crude oil right here in Norco. The chemical annex sits on the other side of town from the refinery. It produces the feedstock for plastic consumer products. Shield owns half the town. Shield. E vediamo questo ditch map. The smile of the man who crouched in the ditch of the highway revisits your mind. His head was smudged with the Wednesday ashes and mascara run from his eyes. Ok, quello che ci diceva nell'introduzione all'inizio. Ah, ma lui alza la faccia? Ah, questo è l'androide. Cioè qua. Questo lo mino là sotto. Qui c'è altra gente? No. Ah, noi c'è una faccia qua. Va bene. Però detto questo, che cazzo possiamo fare? Adesso dobbiamo andarcene. Norco Louisiana o Fruitgate Tavern. Ah no, scusa, Dimes Discount. Prima della Shield Oil Refinery? The sprawling Shield Industrial Complex. Long ago it was plantation land, cheap and abundant along the Mississippi River. The refinery grew in stages, slowly displacing surrounding neighborhoods. The chemical annex came online later. Children of the enslaved became the neighbors of this machine. Okay. Towers, carbon and alloy and stainless steel. Among the columns sits the catalytic cracking unit that rocked the town. Pipelines. The webwork crosses high and low, over and under traffic and water and concrete. Like veins, like gossamer, like neural circuitry. Lights. Everywhere metal halide probing the river's expanse. Coded patterns of warm sodium and cold leads. Winking, thinking, knowing. Something to decipher in all that Norco light. I remember blue. You only think that you do. When he died, part of her did too. Ok, qui c'è dato altre info. Ma... siamo comunque bloccati. Che facciamo? Proviamo a indagare tutte le robe. Praticamente dobbiamo sbloccare dei passaggi di qualche tipo. The thirst flood is barely a memory. Placing your feet on drenched carpet, your mom and grandfather ripping out sheetrock, sitting in a small RV in the backyard setting dolls on a cluttered table. Second flood, quindi ci sono state un sacco di alluvioni. You were 14. The pumping station failed during a heavy rain. You were in class watching the clouds move upriver. You got a text message from your mom. Stay in Destrehan, I'll come get you. For 2 weeks you shared a hotel room with your mom and Blake. She spent all her days gutting the house. In the evenings you would sometimes help. The third flood. Another pump failure. Your mom hired contractors with the insurance money. She said she was getting too old for it. You were bitter. You blamed her for not selling the house sooner. You stayed with friends in New Orleans. Ah, c'è stata una quarta ancora. The fourth flood will follow a slow hurricane and it will be a calamity. It will leave the entire region submerged as critical leaves breach. There will be a massive blackout that lasts weeks. Much of the sewerage infrastructure will be damaged beyond repair. The embattled federal government will do nothing to assist. It will bankrupt the region. Small militant enclaves will form along the high ground of the Mississippi River. They will take to piracy and hijack commercial shipping vessels. Private mercenary forces will retaliate in kind. Slowly, industry will flee this hot zone. The old river control structure will collapse from neglect and sabotage. The Mississippi River will again change its course. NORCO, an old abandoned refinery town on a ghost of a river. Your house will be squatted and then raised. Cosa che ci fa vedere? The overhead light of a neighbor kitchen illuminates yellowing wallpaper and unused furniture. Ok. Cos'altro ci restava da vedere qua? No, la foto l'abbiamo vista, i libri li abbiamo visti. No, non lo so se i libri li abbiamo visti. Ah no, non li abbiamo letti tutti. Many charges is come to pass along the western margin of Lake Vulture train. The named hurricane of left the settlement of Frenier and La Branche in a state of unrecognizable destruction. Those who survived did so by clinging for their life to the limbs of cypress trees. The fables and secrets of those communities lie with the bones of now scattered in sediment of the lake. Okay. Critic of deliberatory externality. Shield has acquired much of Norco's most flooded resistant land through a variety of mechanisms. Madère Moore argue that one such mechanism is a process of deliberate externality. This theory posits that key corporate decision makers encourage the company to emit effluent and noxious substances into the environment with the explicit intention of decreasing neighboring property values. This compels residents to sell their property below market value to relocate as quickly as possible. The criticism that this theory often receives is that it diminishes the importance of slavery in situating black residents along industrial fence lines, up and down the Mississippi River. In the words of Carter, slavery was the deliberate externality from which Shield continues to profit. Pollution was never needed. Quindi usano della schiavitù, ma inquinano per far andare via la gente. Fansling diaspora. In the end, we decided to leave dimes. It wasn't the cat cracker, or the smells, or the fear for our children's health that drove us away, though they played a part. Truth be told, it was the media attention, the spokespeople and activists and academics and all this. I was done with it. I was done being a poster child, done being thought as a victim. I wanted my experience to be my own, not something to gawk at or dissect in a laboratory. Vabbè, ci abbiamo guardato qualcosa da questo? No, non ci abbiamo guardato niente. C'è un divano, va bene. Sì, sto skippando un po' perché non so cosa dobbiamo fare. Abbiamo guardato praticamente tutto. Se accendiamo la televisione... Ma è tutto storto. Boh. Le lettere le abbiamo viste. Abbiamo visto tutto. Kitchen, c'era qualcosa che non abbiamo visto. C'è la cucina, non l'abbiamo particolarmente esplorata e sopra. Laundry. Va bene. Va bene, c'è delle robe sul microonde. Adesso non stiamo troppo a fermarci perché... Ah! Ah! Stupido, ci mancava quella roba là. Front yard. Street. Times. Eccolo. Sì, abbiamo le pillole. Smart move, I'll let you cross the picket line this time, punk. Ok. Allora, abbiamo bisogno dei fusibili, abbiamo detto, no? Fuses. Ok, dov'è il nostro inventario? Ok, qua. Grazie per l'acquisto, quindi possiamo uscire. Perfetto. Perfetto, allora. Andiamo nel backyard e diamo a million il fuse. You got the fuse, good. We'll be able to use the bike to get around town until I'm done with the truck. It concerns me that Blake still hasn't returned. He's been spending a lot of time at Sarpi Paperbacks lately. Perhaps we should look for him there? Va bene. Andiamo, visto che qua abbiamo visto tutto. Noi in moto potentissimi, guarda. Mi piace però come l'ha reso sto viaggio in moto, è grazioso graficamente. Va bene, scusatemi se non... Ah, adesso Million è nel nostro party. Adesso siamo in tre, abbiamo Million. Dove potrebbe essere Blake? Va bene. Abbiamo sbloccato... Ah, qua. Sharpie Books. Sarpy Books. Eh... Scusate, sto un po' skippando perché vorrei anche arrivare a una successione. Ok? And Million, when did you get back to town? I've been in Norco for quite some time. Perhaps you are misremembering, Erika. Well, I guess so. But anyhow, Kai, you're looking rugged these days, old friend. Heard you run into Troy. That guy, my god, he's such a clown. I was keeping up with your travels online, but haven't seen your post in a while. I tossed my phone in the Rio Grande. I respect that, seems more and more common these days. I've been avoiding my phone as well, as that the connection has been so erratic. Been hearing of people chopping down cell towers, tearing fiber cables out of the ground, trying to rip the internet apart. Back because of your mom, huh? Sort of. I know it wasn't always easy between you two. I was around for some of their arguments. Blake would say she was a great person but a terrible mom. I just hope you and your brother can find some comfort. That means a lot, thank you. Of course, I lost my dad a while back, also to cancer. He was a mean bastard, picked up my sister and threw her one time, ended up giving her a concussion. I couldn't wait for him to die, and when he did, I danced. But as the years passed, I found myself thinking about him more. I feels good to hear stories about him. It's always complicated with this shit. Never easy. I worry about your brother. Your mom's illness was taking a toll on him. I watched him slip back into some bad behaviors. Have you seen Blake lately? Yeah, I just saw him just yesterday. He hasn't been around the house? He has not. He said he was heading to Floodgate Tavern when I saw him. He may have gotten wasted. I know Gus let him slip behind the bar a couple times. Did he know you were coming, Kay? He never mentioned it. I figured he'd try to avoid me. Ah, yeah, he can be like that sometimes. I've had to be delicate with him recently. If I ask how he's doing, he goes quiet. If I opt for help, he doesn't return my texts. He's broken. Sometimes I see glimmers of light in his personality, but it's rare these days. If I hear from him, I'll tell him to find you. Allora, ha detto che teoricamente dovrebbe essere in quell'altro posto, per cui andiamo a vedere in quell'altro posto, che forse adesso sarà aperto. I do hope Erika is correct and that Blake's absence is due to nothing more than another drunken night. My intuition leaves me with a sense that something is wrong. Do you feel it too, Kay? Does something feel strange to you? Catherine? Several weeks ago. Quindi passiamo sulla madre praticamente. Greater New Orleans Neural Versioning Clinic. Clinician, what brings you here tonight? I'm dying. The cancer, it's gotten everywhere. There are some things I'd like to leave behind. I understand. And you were referred by Mr. Richard? Duck. That's what everyone calls him. Yeah, Duck. We followed his branch with some interest. Who hasn't? I gather we'll be discussing this in more detail as things progress. For now, let us begin with a simple exercise. I'd like to talk about your earliest memory. It's of pine trees, yes? That's right. Tell me about them. They grew from the concrete and cracked the driveway. And the concrete broke into pieces. They made your father upset. He'd see them and frown. But he'd remain silent. He'd sit quietly in the truck dissatisfied. I wouldn't say a word. Speaking in those moments made you a fool in his mind. Your father's house was safe. I wish I could have stayed, but he wouldn't have it. And that's why you married, Blue. Yes, to have somewhere to go. We bought our little place on Good Hope Street. The whole thing was a mistake. When I told him I didn't love him, it was in my father's voice. I told him I never loved any man. Was it true? No. That was a difficult night for you. I didn't feel real. Where was Blue? He sat at the window all night. The east-facing window? Yeah. When you stood over him to apologize, you saw the flare stuck of the refinery in his eyes. That's right. Dobbiamo salvare le cose. Io salverei tutti e tre, no? How was it after that, in the time before he died? We still called each other in wide orbits. I'd hide at the center of the house nursing Kay and only leave when I heard him step out. He'd sleep on the couch or next to her crib. He'd sing her old Cajun lullabies. Pet her head, whispers to her about his life, and then there was the explosion. When the cat cracker blew, they say he fell 5 stories. We went to identify his body on a Thursday night. I remember the tempo of streetlights, the police scattered across the East Bank. I carried Kay in a blanket, she never cried. Boh, teniamo quella di mezzo. Tell me about this man. I would see him from time to time around Norco. This was many years back. But several weeks ago, Blake saw someone passing by the house. I think it was him. Why? I just do. The robot is no longer there to deter him. Million? Yes. Could be it. What was your first encounter with Million? Let me think. She came to me in the parking lot. Kai was about 12 years old at the time. She knew Blue from his days at the aluminium refinery. I stared for a long time into her constellation of eyes. They swirled in a kind of desperation. I took her home, knowing it was another mistake. You were reckless in those days. I welcomed any trouble I could find. Salverai tutti e tre. What is the significance of his image to you? It's, well, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. It's a sphere. It followed me in the lake. When? Recently, a few weeks ago. This is where Mr. Richard's branch factors into your biography. Duck's version escaped. A hard fork, an extremely rare instance, and grew into some kind of monster. It began spreading to me through the radio. It told me to install an app. An app? Yes. I think it has something to do with a thing, the sphere, whatever it is. But so long as it pays, I don't care. I can use my money. The app pays? Yes. I see. It seems this is the last control point that you submitted. Would you like to include any additional thoughts or memories? Anything not included in the intake form? No, that should be enough. I will now begin disconnecting the sensors. As that feeling of nausea and disorientation is normal and no cause for alarm. I thank you for your patience, Miss Madare. L'ultimo non mi ha fatto scegliere. Adesso siamo Catherine. Wallet watch. Ah, c'è Quack Job. Says here I need to go to the Curious Duck. The work earn Quack. Ok. Ok. È un'esperienza un po' complicata. Ma io vorrei uscire però, scusate. Ok, ha salvato tipo le sue memorie qua. Ma, ah ok, possiamo uscire adesso, va bene. E deve andare da sto Quack, però, mi sembra abbastanza lungo tutto ciò, eh. Puppet Theater. Come parlare con quest'uomo? This is taking forever to start. I'm starving. You been to any of these yet? No, what is it? A puppet show. They always start late. I told them I'd help load the gear, so I'm stuck here until it's over. My stomach's going to eat itself. A makeshift puppet theater. The curtains are closed. Maybe I'll come by later to see what this is about. Proviamo a vedere qua allora. A newly refined Art Deco structure glows behind the structure. The overpass. They turned Charity Hospital into art lofts. Disgusting. Ah no, ma c'è un altro posto dove possiamo andare. Perdido Street, City Hall, French Quarter, City Hall. A figure sits at desk overlooking Duncan Plaza and the depending winter night. He watches the fingers of a cool front animate with tops of oak trees in the park. He watches the last remnants of commuter traffic leaving canal streets. The pulsing tail lights. The shift workers running towards the bus. Ok, ci blocca. Good evening, badge please. Damn, I left it at the house. There are no council meetings scheduled for this evening. You'll need an employee ID badge to enter. Ok, allora torniamo qua e proviamo ad andare al quartiere francese. Ah, Curious Duck è chiuso però. La porta è chiusa. There's a small plaque next to the door says Curious Duck. This is the place. Però come entriamo? How's your night, ma'am? Alright. No complaints. Glad to hear it. You wouldn't have any change to spare, would you? Sure. Sure, but all I've got is a buck. Really appreciate that. Change has been hard to come by this evening. Didn't know we'd be going head to head with sketchy Santa. His saint says he's raising money for veterans. Last night it was for leukemia. Night before that it was for something else. I respect the grift, but he stole our corner. You should confront him. We did, he tried to kill us. Yeah. With a knife. Wow. It was dull, so it just bruised a little. Well, that's understandable. He probably thought you were trying to jump him or something. Surely it was self-defense. You think I deserve to be stabbed with a dog knife by a crazed Santa Claus? That's not what I meant, I just... Get out of here, lady. Santa's eyes roll wildly in their deep sockets. His mouth twists into a smile. How are ya, dear? Got $1 to spare? Help spread some Christmas cheer? I gave my last dollar away. I just let go of my last dollar. What? That dollar was for me! Okay, il venditore. A hot dog vendor sits behind a large plastic cart. He looks up eagerly as Catherine approaches. Oh, hey, hi! He watches Catherine with a silent grin. So is this? I'm Flanelas and this... He makes a grand sweeping gesture above a pot of vague meat. Are my hot dogs. Would you like one? Don't know if my stomach can handle it. I'm not in the best of health. I worry that one of these may kill me. No, they're good for you. They're just a bit old. Boss says he won't resupply me with more until I sell the ones I have. But the more time passes, the harder they are to sell. How old are they? Business was popping, like I was doing really well, selling a lot of dogs, betting... Okay, un anno. That's nearly a decade ago. Yeah. Enthusiastic nodding. Anything else I can help you with? Curious Duck's door is locked. What's with this shop over here? I was told to come by, but the door's locked. The Curious Duck? Rosie doesn't let anyone in unless they know of a secret unlock. A secret knock? What's the secret knock? I can't say, sorry. It's urgent, please. Well, I do need some business. Alright, I'll buy one of these old hot dogs. You won't regret it. Doubtful, how much? Just $14. Is that a joke? Is what a joke? Christ, do you take wallet transfers? Cash only. Damn, well, what if I send some business your way? Then I'll show you the knock. Fine, it's a deal. Cioè, quindi dobbiamo mandare della gente da lui perché poi lui ci segni il coso per fare aprire la porta. Va bene, qua dicono un sacco di robe strane. Direi che possiamo interromperci qua, è durato già parecchio questo video, non vorrei annoiarvi troppo, anche perché quasi tutto è letto in inglese da me, per cui oddio, se siete arrivati qua fino in fondo, complimenti. Che impressione, cioè nel senso in un'ora non è riuscito ancora a convincerci, a dirci, ehi, questa è roba forte. Per cui per me, boh, non lo so, se me lo manderanno magari lo proverò se avrò il tempo, ma non penso che andrò a cercarlo attivamente. Detto questo, io vi invito come al solito a lasciare un mi piace, un commento qua sotto, ci vediamo nel prossimo episodio della LudoNarraCon o delle serie tradizionali. Ciao a tutti!